just gotta grade this out a little bit. There. There's a little bit of a hump that we had to jump over and was gonna start digging in. Luckily it wasn't too bad, but we got there. We're a little crooked, but we're better than our original. It's a tent that goes up in one movement after you spend 40 other movements making sure everything's perfect. And then just go. So we're kind of set in, at least for today. There's a little bit more work to do. I got some more screen. I want to do a thing to keep the bugs out there. Well, luckily, the bugs aren't bad. So there's kind of the main tent space. It's, I don't know, auxiliary everything. As you can tell, we have the lovely Lugaloo here. Actually, this will probably go in the van, the damp rid. Extra more comfort stuff, clothing, tools, power, my clothing, another extra little couch kind of area to hang out, more tools. And yeah, it connects over through there. A little quick passway here. Yeah. See if everything in the shed. Seems to all be here. Actually more space than I remember back here. And actually this was standing up. I knocked it down just a minute ago. Well, not knocked down, pushed down to get to stuff I had stashed down here that was still there. So yeah, pretty cool. Oh, I don't know if you've seen him, but there's a big ass spider that took over these cinder blocks. He's the guardian of the shed, and I don't think there's really any scary deadly spiders around here, but yeah, let's get to that guy. I just seen him as I was coming up, so I don't want to be a big baby about it, but I am going to kind of cool. Well, here more so than I remember. Cool. Back out to Snake Island for breakfast. The best breakfast spot. Maybe a friend at work maybe is like kind of Venice sausage stick kind of thing. Yeah, that's breakfast. Out on the island. That's on the island. And this island's not even really an island. It's a peninsula. Yeah, I'm sure it's done eating here roundabout to that point. Kind of wild, it was so sunny. And all of a sudden I could just feel cold, and now this dark fog is like you can almost literally watch it come in. I don't know how well the GoPro's picking this up, but the water is slowly disappearing. This dropped a good 5 degrees. Now we are surrounded by mist. Yeah, you're definitely feeling mist out here. It's cool. Back out to the point on Snake Island. So, well, you guys can see there's actually a really thick rainbow through the fog that way. And it ends at the island. Solar has been a thing for, these guys doesn't want to be on camera. Has been hanging out with us for a while too. But no, for whatever reason, this one solar panel is bad, and it wouldn't let the other three work for some odd reason through the hookup I had. And it took me a while to troubleshoot that and figure that out. But I divvied them up, so I got this guy out here because I knew it would run directly onto one of these little charging blocks, which is charging another little one. And the other one's in the far back, the big charging unit that was kind of a problem. I'll talk more about my little pressurized water heater setup here. It only holds 5 gallons, which is kind of a misnomer because you need about that much for headspace for pressure, otherwise it won't really run very long. So we only have this 5-gallon jug, which I also didn't, actually it's 6 gallons, which I didn't fill up all the way. But now we only got about a gallon left in there, about a gallon left in here, and the swale's dry. Due to new culverts that they put in at the end of the road, which is actually a very good thing. But also kind of sucks because now I have to go for a pretty lengthy walk to get water or for a drive. But I don't really have the van set up to take off right now. But tomorrow I'll probably fill up a couple 5-gallon buckets. But for today we'll get a gallon of water near, hopefully, a beach. My neighbor's lovely totems. They're pretty cool. That would have like been mounted around the radiator. I don't know what they would call that, like a front clip or apron or something. I'm not really sure. So that's our one neighbor, and our other neighbor. Neither of which I think are around right now. That makes for exciting television, but yeah, here's the nice culvert they put in. Well, you can see that's my neighbor that way, so we're at the top, kind of that way. So that's all super dry now. Actually, there's more movement down there I might get the water from. Actually, it looks really decent here. It's still a lot of sediment in here, which the filter will grab, but it'll also clog up the filter. So I took a neck gaiter, bobbed a knot at the end, so the coffee can I rinsed out. It's a brand new filter. That's the reason why I wanted to make sure to get the bigger particulate out. Keep the flow going pretty good because it will slow down pretty quickly. What do you need? Point?
Patch.
Oh, it's got to be cut, yeah.
Can't see what it says.
It's like a logo for whiskey or something like that.
Sweet.
So now you get to listen to the trickling sound of somebody peeing while you work on a needlepoint. You're all dusty. So this is the airport. It's actually kind of a cool spot to see what little bit of autumn color we're getting right now. But that's not why we're here. After talking with our cool neighbor Linda, she told us about this spigot that's open for everybody. And it's the only one that's open to everybody that she's aware of anyways in town that's actually pressurized, good well. Everything else is one of the old school hand pump ones, which actually I usually really like. However, the two in town I've tried, which one's actually over there, taste horrible and kind of have like a rotten egg taste and smell to them, and they're rusty and they're no good. So yeah, if you're on the island, make your drive to the airport. Right in front of the building, tasty well water. Plus it's just kind of a cool spot. I mean, there's not much on the island, so as cool as it's gonna get. So let's do a little sightseeing on the way back to the property. This is not too far from the airport, and really, to be honest with you, there's not much out by the airport. There are some properties here and there, but for the most part, it doesn't start to get interesting until you get into the area that I call like the town, quote unquote. It's actually called the Pins by everyone else's standard, because no one else really knows how to say the name properly. From what I can gather and whatnot, it was started in like the 1920s era. I think some houses may have started even before that, but the real boom was during that time when they were trying to turn this island into kind of more of a touristy kind of resort type thing. And it's neat. This is the area where you'll still find the one-room schoolhouse, which that's not it, by the way. That's just a really neat old house. And the original dock is coming up here shortly, which I'll throw in some photos and whatnot of that that I can find. Finding a lot of historical stuff online about the island is incredibly difficult, actually. They do have a historical society here in town. That's the old dock you're about to see here in a second. And I'm all over the map here. I have to admit, I haven't went to the historical society yet. I'm trying to do my homework so that way I look like Mr. Smarty Pants when I go in there, and maybe I can start volunteering there because I know a bunch of stuff. But anyways, back to the Pins. Not to be confused with the Pines, which is a different area here on the island. The homes, as you can see here, especially on this stretch, at least a handful of them, especially those two, are from the 1920s era when this was first started. Those were the birch houses. And I will also admit that this would have been better when we were going to the airport instead of coming back, because I'd have been on the other side and you could see the houses better. This area is kind of like a town. They actually have some sidewalks in certain areas. Some people have yards with like lawns and stuff. And they have little sprinkler systems along the side of the road to help keep the dust down, because it's a very, very dusty area. I believe we're coming up to the Historical Society, which is right about here, and next to it is Nice's Birch Shop. I think it's called Nice's Birch Shop, something like that, which is a really unique spot. It's kind of like a thrift store of the island, so there's a lot of old school unique things. Like hard to explain, but it's a lot of stuff from probably between the 30s and 70s. I mean, it ranges to stuff to this day as well, but it's weird. It's just interesting knackery. If you're into that kind of stuff, you should definitely stop by and check it out. We're now kind of getting close to like the one grocery store in town, It's called Hawks, or actually, it was originally called Hawks. Some person recently has purchased it, and they're kind of updating it and changing things, and I don't know what the name is now. And to be honest with you, I don't really like the changes. It's getting too, new. I like the tavern better, even though the tavern's not a grocery store. And the big flag you see that we're approaching is actually the new dock area. So this is the main area that you'd be coming into on the ferry. And excuse me. And it's kind of a neat spot. And speaking of neat spots, this is a neat spot to kind of wrap this up for the day. I know this is not a full one-day adventure here, but some of the shooting got a little lopsided. So we're going to do a part 2 of this, and hopefully it'll come out in about a week's time. So stay tuned for that. Thanks for watching.